Hey everyone, you're listening to Ankur Variku on Voice with Variku. On this podcast, I talk to you about entrepreneurship, how to grow in life, manage personal finances, handle failures, and a lot more things that just come to my mind. The episode begins. In this podcast episode, I wanted to talk to you about ambition, something that we all are told we should have in our lives. And if we don't have it, then we are letting go of that most precious thing that we have, which is an opportunity, blah, 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 right? So there is enough and more talk around ambition in general. But I don't think we do a good job of understanding our ambition. Most people that I know who are very ambitious have had a very clear understanding of their ambition, not necessarily from a young age, but also an understanding of how ambition works through the ages. And those individuals who think they have an understanding of ambition, but it was almost always pegged on something false, something not very foundational, have struggled with managing that ambition or even realizing it in the first place. So there are three things about ambition that I have realized over a period of time. Number one, your ambition is not equal to your desires. And this is a very important part. Your ambition is not equal to your desires. What do I mean by this? Let's say you want to have $1 million. Like it's a want, it's a desire. That cannot become your ambition. Your ambition cannot be to have $1 million because ambition is greater. It's a purpose. It's an identity that you attach to your life for its existence. So your ambition has to be something that hopefully makes your desires happen as a natural byproduct. So if your ambition is to become a wealthy individual and not be reliant on a job or a salary to make you wealthy, then naturally your desires of wealth are going to be a byproduct of that. But if your ambition itself is your desire, then more often than not, you will actually stop at hitting your desire. Or worse off, when you hit that desire, you will still feel unfulfilled. Because guess what? It's just a milestone. It's just a desire. It's just something that you signed up, that you wished you could get to. But once you get to it, you realize that doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make you feel adequate. It doesn't make you feel content. And that is why you have to then move on to the next desire and the next desire and the next desire. And then it never stops. So an ambition, which is equivalent to desire, is actually just desire disguised as something else. It is not your true ambition. It's not going to change the world for you, your life, or the meaning of it. Number two, your ambition will change. As you move along, as you grow, as you get wiser, as you experience more and more things, your ambition is bound to change. But those who do not face this reality, who believe that an ambition is something that is only established once in life and then has to be achieved but cannot be altered, are the ones who lead a painful, not so happy life. And that wouldn't be the way that I would want you to do it. An ambition will change. I remember when I was growing up, my ambition was to become a space scientist. I didn't do it because it was my desire. I didn't want or care if anybody felt anything about it. It was just my own ambition to go to NASA and to become a space scientist. And everything that I did in life was towards that until I realized that's not what I wanted to do. I actually realized it was never an ambition. It was simply a desire. And I had just tricked myself, led myself to the false belief that this desire of mine to be seen as a NASA scientist, to be seen as an astronaut, to be seen as a space scientist doing kick-ass work, had just translated into this loose definition of ambition. And that's why I think I faltered. But my ambition kept changing. There was a time when my ambition was to build great startups. Awesome. I did that. And I did everything as per the book to make that happen, whether it was raising money from the top investors, whether it was running at a certain growth trajectory, whether it was getting the right kind of people, whether it was building fancy offices, doing marketing, advertising, whatever is it that fulfilled that ambition, I did. Until I realized at some point of time, that's not my ambition anymore. It's not something that gave me joy. It's not something that added meaning or fulfillment to my life, not because that ambition was wrong in the first place. It's because I had changed as an individual and I had realized what I truly valued in life. And that was having control over my time. That was having control of my destiny. That was having control of my outcomes and me being the only person feeling responsible towards it. And that's the same thing with you as well. If you're young, please realize that whatever ambition you're working towards is going to change, inevitably going to change. And that means that your habits will have to change as well to feed that ambition. But if you just feel stuck in the past and you believe that the ambition that you had first founded for yourself is the only ambition that you will work towards in the rest of your life, you are most likely going to have a life which is not going to be feeling fulfilled. And then the third and the last thing, your ambition needs to match the opportunities that you sit on. Your ambition needs to match the opportunities that you sit on. Now, that sounds like a very pessimistic thing to say, because it sounds like I'm telling someone who was born into, say, a poor economic strata that, you know what, the opportunities for you are limited. So why do you want to make yourself more ambitious and then feel disheartened? But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying your ambitions need to match the opportunity. So in case they don't, you have to work not on your ambition, but on your opportunities. Your ambitions need to match your opportunities. And in case you were born in a setup or you find yourself in a setup where your opportunities do not lead to the ambition that you have, the thing that needs to change is not your ambition, but your opportunities. And that's where I bring the most important part of this conversation, that the opportunities you sit on are well within your own hands, in your own control. You set the mechanism in your life to create opportunities. Whether you do it as a conscious effort, whether you do it and rely on serendipity, that's a matter of question. For example, if you are to send out a cold email every day to the top startup founders in the country or perhaps the world, you are creating an opportunity engine that will work for you. You don't know which one will work for you, but you know for a fact one of them will. And if then your ambition matches that opportunity, great. But if you don't send out these cold emails and your ambition is to be in a really large setup and to create value for global of citizens, then it's quite likely that the opportunities you're sitting on do not match that. And if that's the case, you will find yourself falling short. You will find yourself and your ambition not being able to hit what is it that you wanted to. That's why I keep saying the best thing that you do for yourself in your life is to create an opportunity engine, is to create an engine where opportunities come by design and not by luck. You know how to replicate those opportunities should you want to. You know how to replicate those opportunities should you have to. And that is what then allows for the ambition to be fluid. It could be something one day, it could be something else the other day. And that doesn't scare you because you know that your ambitions at all point of times will match the opportunities you're sitting on. So don't confuse your desires as your ambition. Don't believe that your ambition is something that will be set once in your life and will never change again, but it will keep changing. And that means your habits to feed those ambitions will also need to change. And number 3, make sure that your ambition matches the opportunities you're sitting on. And if they don't, then don't change the ambition. Change the opportunities. All the best. Thank you for listening to this episode of Voice with Variku. To be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to subscribe and follow the show on this app right now. Also, don't forget to rate and review the show because that just feels nice. Thank you.